Welcome to Board Gaming with Austin. Today I'm going to be giving you a complete review on Bunnies Patrol by Roast and Toast Games. This game plays in 20 minutes and is for ages 5 and up. I'd say they can play even younger than that if they know how to play games. It's for 1 to 4 players. In this review, I'm going to begin by giving you a review of the game and some ratings, and then I'm going to follow into a detailed how to set up and play for this game. It's not that in depth, or it's not that long to set it up and play because it's a very short game. I'm going to start with the review of it because you may not want to continue into the how to play for it, depending on how you feel about it. So, right off the bat, I'm going to say the gameplay, the directions, and the quality all lower the total score by 1 star for each issue. So the total rating I give this game is 2 stars, unfortunately. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with the fact that it doesn't fit my type of gameplay, or it doesn't fit my type of genre, it doesn't fit my age range, because I'll give games fair ratings depending on what they, based on the actual quality of them. 2 stars. The reason why: quality of the components. The dice, they're not even melamine, they're wood. So if you have some rough players, they're going to start, getting damage. These tokens over here, they're all right, they're decent. Another issue is the tiles, one of the only components in the game. You can see they're bent, or they're curving. They don't sit flat on the table. I hope you can see that. Quality lowers the total score by 1. Directions. There's a positive and a negative about the directions. These are the directions. That's it. I ripped them by accident. They're so small that I'm actually going to be reading over the directions as we're setting it up. But they're so small that you miss a lot of important information. It takes 1 star off the total score. Another reason why I dislike the directions is, and I'll go into more later, but it doesn't say in the directions whether you can or can't land on the same spot as someone else. And it doesn't say whether you can go onto the final tile where Santa is before the end of finding all of the presents. It just says that you have to get there at the very end to completely win. So it doesn't say if you land on Santa's square, if you can you leave Santa's square? It doesn't say that. It leaves out a lot of information. The gameplay is next. That lowers the total score by 1 star. And the reason why is it kind of falls off. So the point of the game is you have these tiles laid out right here. And you're going to have a start and an end tile. And these tiles are going to have Swiper, this fox, positioned up here in the forest. And then you're going to have bunnies. And you start the bunnies on the first tile, and they kind of bounce around the entire board. And as Swiper's going across the top, it takes him an extremely long time to get across the top. There's going to be presents here. Half of the presents, or about half the presents, are going to be snacks for Swiper, which allow him to go forward 1 space for each snack. And then the dice, out of all the spaces on the dice, there's only 1 spot that has the fox's face. So it's very unlikely that you're going to lose this, in my opinion, because it takes the fox so long to get across, which is the losing condition if the fox gets to the very end. Especially if you go with more players, you get more chances of rolling foxes, but the amount of fox movement they get from snacks is the exact same. So you get more people rolling across the board. And then the gameplay falls off when there's negatives for landing on this carrot, and there's negatives for landing on the ice present, but there's nothing really forcing you to land on those spots. Another thing with the directions is it doesn't tell you, again, whether you can even move across other players. It doesn't say whether you can land on the same spot as other players, and it doesn't say you can move across the same spot as other players. So I'll tell you how we played our game in the next section of this video. All right, let's begin that. Total rating for the whole game, 2 stars. But you might like this. It is a good game for kids. You know, if this might be a 3 or a 4 to you, if it's specifically only for your kids and it's to challenge their mind. But another reason why it's 2 stars for me is the pricing. It's kind of a little pricey at $25 right now. I'd say 15 to 20 would be a great range for this game. All right, so we're going to begin with this. Bunnies of the Bunnies Patrol need to work together to get Santa Claus before the fox does. They have to overcome all the obstacles on the way and collect the lost presents. This is going to be the section where we set up the game, and then I explain how we played. Assemble. You're going to assemble the board by taking these pieces, and you're going to shuffle them. All right. Shuffle them as good as you want. Give them to your kids to shuffle. We're going to start with Santa's house on the left side of the board. I'll take these directions off. And then we're going to end with Santa himself on the right side. Then we're going to randomly flip these tiles from left to right and place them down. These games directions are so easy you can just have your kids set it up. All right, I hope that's good enough for you. All right, then you're going to shuffle all of these gift tokens, which they're shuffled up now. But then you're going to place one face down on every single one of these light blue spots with presents facing up, or presents on them. And it's not going to be the one with clouds. At least that's not how we played. And then you want to make sure you're randomly placing these down. So maybe you put them all on the table and then shuffle them around and then place them. Actually, I'm sorry. It is actually all the ones with presents, including the clouds, the light blue, just not the ones with ice in the presents. And not this one over here. All right. Now, you put the fox standee swiper up here in the top left forest. That whole chunk above the home is one spot. So then he moves here, and he moves here, 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 and then finally here above Santa. It only moves in the woods up there on the top on that road. Each player chooses one bunny standee and places it on one of the spaces on the first game board part. It doesn't actually direct you or show you what it means in the game, in the rule book. So what it means is you choose a standee and you place it on one of these squares on this first section right after Santa's home. Any of the squares, it doesn't matter. Obviously, it can't be on the broken ice, but whatever you land on or whatever you put it on to start the game with, you don't actually get that benefit. You only get the benefit when you land on it after this. All right, it says the youngest player goes first. This is how the game flows. On your turn, you're going to roll the dice. Then you're going to move your bunny standee as many steps as you rolled. Each bunny figure is going to be one step. So it says, if you roll a gray side, you move your bunny. A gray side is a bunny face. So this would be 2 steps, 2 bunnies. If you roll an orange, the fox moves 1 step. You can move your bunny in any direction, even backwards. You can make fewer steps than you cannot make fewer steps than you rolled. So you would roll the dice. It was 2 bunnies. So you'd move your bunny 2 spaces and land somewhere. In this case, like that. Or if the bunny was here, they could move 1, 2. They could move 1, 2. And then When the bunny stops on a space with a gift token, like this, the gift token is flipped over, and you reveal what it is. If it's a toy like this, the bunnies collect it and start wanting to collect these to get all 6 of them. If it's a food for the fox, then it's flipped over and given to the fox, and the fox moves forward 1 space per treat. Note, to pick a gift, you must stop on the space with it and not go through it. So pretty much, you don't take any of the benefits or negatives from anywhere on the board unless you're actually landing on that spot or ending your turn on that spot. On your turn, you can re-roll the dice if you do not like the results. So you roll it once. If you don't like those results, then you have to roll both of the dice again. Only one more. You only get 1 re-roll per turn though. Then you have to go with those results. You can't go with the ones prior. Now, the point of the game is you want to get all 6 of the actual gifts. And the gift is the items that don't have the fox's face on them. You want to get all 6 of those gifts. Once you get all 6 of those gifts, this would be a treat because it has the fox's face. Then you want to make your way to where Santa's sleigh is. If you collect all 6 gifts and all reach Santa, all the players win. If the fox reaches Santa up here in the woods before all the players get there with their gifts, then the players lose. These are the special spots. So if you land on the ice hole, or in order to go over the ice hole, you have to have 2 movement. You can either go around or go straight over. There's no other option. So if you're right here and you roll a 3, then you would use 2 of that 3 to jump over him to the next spot. So basically you are counting the spot that the ice is on, but you can't land on the ice. So 1, 2. Or it says go around. So if you don't want to land here, you can't, go do this 1, 2. You have to actually walk around him to get there. 1, 2. It has to be either directly over or walk around. You can't go diagonal either. So you can't go from this space to this space. It has to be vertical and horizontal, so which is orthogonal. And that's how we played. That might not be how you play. You can do your own home rules. So the present, if you land on this present space, it says lost present. Flip and resolve the effect of any face-down gift token on the board. So you randomly choose any gift on the board, flip it over, and resolve it. So like if you flip this over, it'd be a snack for the fox. And then it works the same as if you had landed on it, whereas it gives a snack to the fox or you add it to your present pile. The +1 is add 1 to any die result. So that means if you rolled this, a 3, and you had a bunny right here, you'd go 1, 2, 3, and the +1 allows you to add 1 more step. So you immediately do 1 more step in any direction you want. So if you landed here, you get 1 more step. You can land on this present and then flip over the present and do your action as normal. The 2 dice spot says extra roll. Roll both dice 1 more time and move your bunny and or fox again. So if you land on the 2 dice, just like it says, you immediately, so if you finish your spot on the 2 dice, so you were here, you were here, 1, 2, 3, you land on the dice, and you immediately re-roll again, and then go. The burrow, if you stop on a space with a burrow, immediately move to another burrow. So if you did 1, 2, 3, you landed here, then you immediately transport to the other burrow, no matter where it is. If you land on the carrot, you have to skip your next turn. That's pretty explanatory. And then the bunnies, if you land on the bunny swapping space, then you have to swap spaces with one other bunny. It doesn't matter who, unless you're only playing with someone else. And then if you're playing alone, you don't swap anyone. That's the game, guys. Again, it might be better for you and your kids, especially, or for your kids, I mean, if you have a lot of kids, and if you have more pocket change to spare. Thank you. Have a good day.